Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions, and as you can see, I'm here with Tim Minchin and the Heritage Orchestra, it says there, and the song is called The Fence. This is a viewer request. Thank you very much for this. I've had it on my regular list for a really long time. It's only because there are so many super artists on the list. It's very, very long. If you want your request much quicker, check in the description. There is an easy way to do that. So use one of the three donation methods. You can just donate if you like, or you can use one of those. Let me know what you want me to react to. And if you have a shout out name that you prefer, let me know that too, and you will get your reaction much, much quicker. Also in the description, I'll put a link to Tim Minchin's channel, so you can go there and subscribe and like and comment and support the artist. Definitely want to do that, of course. He's amazing, often very funny, but also taking on serious topics, and sometimes the whole song is very emotional and serious, and other times there's a mix. So you get a lot from Tim Minchin all the time. Very intelligent lyrics as well. Now, whether or not I'll understand the lyrics, I often have difficulty the first time listening, but not always with Tim. There's no CC here, so we'll see how it goes. If I can pick out enough of them to say something during the song, I will. If not, then I'll look at the lyrics afterwards. I've done a number of reactions to Tim Minchin. I'll put a link in the description to my playlist for him if you want to check out all the reactions I've done so far. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe here if you have already. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the shares and likes and comments as well. I appreciate all of it. All right, let's have a listen to The Fence.
Somewhere in your wardrobe I'd be willing to bet there's a t-shirt proudly bearing the silhouette of Che Guevara. He was revolutionary, yeah, he wore a cool hat. But behind the design I think you might find it's not quite as simple as that. Che was a bit of a homophobe. Che was a bit of a homophobe. I think, apparently. Who knows? Che was a bit of a homophobe. Che was a bit of a homophobe. This is my song in defense of the fence. A little sing-along, an anthem to ambivalence. The more you know, the harder you will find it to make up your mind. It doesn't really matter if you find you can't see which grass is greener. Chances are it's neither, and either way it's...
I'm getting quite a few of the lyrics, but not all, so I probably will look at them separately, just so I'm not stopping all the time as well, because there's often a lot in, and it seems like there's a lot here so far. Yeah, do you have a t-shirt with Che Guevara on it? I certainly saw them a lot. Yeah, even now, once in a while I still see them, but I used to see them a lot back in the day, and I knew some people, one in particular who was a great fan, I guess you could say. I never really took that on. I don't have any t-shirts with Che Guevara, but yeah, the idea that you know this person or you know their ideas. I don't know whether he was a homophobe or not. I have no idea. I don't know enough about him, but I was thinking about the grass is always greener. Yes, a lot of the time, I think the reason I didn't go for it too much is because a lot of people who are on an opposing side, whichever side you want to talk about, just go wholeheartedly on one side, thinking the grass is greener over there. And yeah, I don't know. I learned early on that usually that's either not the case, or at least it's a lot more complicated than that. It's not so simple. But anyway, so I didn't really pick up on anybody, and I rarely wear t-shirts with anything on other than my business LTL Tutoring Central or RJJ's Reactions. Otherwise I usually wear black, solid, or blue, so solid color, dark solid colors. I don't know why I'm telling you all that, but anyway, the idea is that I don't usually advertise anything on my shirts other than my own business.
ambivalence. The more you know, the harder you will find it to make up your mind. It doesn't really matter if you find you can't see which grass is greener. Chances are it's neither, and either way it's easier to see the difference when you're sitting on the fence.
Sitting on the fence, now I get it.
Somewhere in your house I'd be willing to bet there's a picture of that grinning hippie from Tibet. The the Dalai Lama. He's a lovely, funny fella. He gives sound bites galore. But let's not forget that back in Tibet, those funky monks used to dig the poor, yeah. And the Buddhist line about future lives is a perfect way to stop the powerless rising up, isn't it? Maybe. And he tells the poor they will live again, but he's rich now, so it's easy for him to say.
True, true.
I'm taking a stand in defense of the fence. I got a little band playing anthems to ambivalence. We divide the world into terrorists and heroes, into normal folk and weirdos, into good people and pedos, into things that give you cancer, and the things that cure cancer, and the things that don't cause cancer. But there's a chance they will cause cancer in the future. We divide the world to stop us feeling frightened, into wrong and into right, and into black and into white, and into real men and fairies, into status quo and scary. Yeah, we want the world binary, binary, but it's not that simple. And your dog has a bigger carbon footprint than a four-wheel drive. Yeah, your dog has a bigger carbon footprint than a four-wheel drive. Yeah, your dog has a bigger carbon footprint than a four-wheel drive. And so does your baby. Maybe you ought to trade him in for a Prius. Rock!
Yikes. Wow. They are.
Taking a stand in defense of the fence. Got a little band playing tributes to ambivalence. We divide the world into liberals and gun freaks, into atheists and fundies, into teetotalers and junkies, into chemical and natural, into fictional and factual, into science and supernatural. But it's actually naturally not that white and black. You'll be dividing us into terrorists and heroes, into normal folk and weirdos, into good people and pedos, into things that give you cancer, and the things that cure cancer, and the things that don't cause cancer. But there's a chance it will cause cancer in the future. We divide the world to stop us feeling frightened, into wrong and into right, and into black and into white, and into real men and fairies, into parrots and canaries. Yeah, we want the world binary, binary, 011101. More you know, the harder you will find it to make up your mind. It doesn't really matter if you find you can't see which grass is greener. Chances are it's neither, and either way it's easier to see the difference, 'cause it's not that simple. Maybe.
Maybe.
Second act just gets weirder. Bye.
It's not that simple, maybe, so staying on the fence even on that. Defending the fence. Okay, I caught quite a few of the lyrics. The music was amazing too. I was trying to focus so much on the lyrics, but the piano and the orchestra was amazing too. You got great swelling of music, and then that chaotic period there. Yeah, it was really, really well done instrumentally as well. It says recorded live, Manchester Arena, UK. Uh, yeah, awesome. I did catch quite a few of the lyrics, but I didn't want to keep stopping and stopping and stopping, so I'll look at the lyrics separately in a moment. Yeah, I think I grasped during the song more or less where it was coming from, sort of defending the fence, because the grass isn't always all greener on the other side, and it's not so black and white. It's not so plain, just one or the other. It doesn't usually work that way in real life. But we like that as humans somewhat. We like to put ourselves in little boxes. And again, you know, maybe because I was a bit of an odd child, to say the least, I saw early on that you'd have these different cliques or groups at school, for example, and it doesn't change much when you get older either. That people get a little bit better at smoothing it over, but still kind of happens behind the scenes. But you have, and that's this group here. They're so outrageous, wearing such clothes and hairstyles and everything else, and they believe in freedom and freedom of expression and everything. But then once you find a little bit more about them, they put everyone else in a box too, so they're doing exactly the same thing most of the time. Not always. Not every individual does, but yeah, an awful lot of the time we do. I think we kind of do. It's comforting to think that everything is either good, bad, you know, angel, demon, whatever. All right, I'm going to have a look at the lyrics now. If you're not sticking around, don't forget to subscribe here and go to Tim's channel and subscribe. There's a link in the description. I hope you'll stick around for the lyrics. I'll try not to spend too much time blabbing. All right, let's have a look now. Here we are, The Fence by Tim Minchin, songwriter Tim Minchin. Somewhere in your wardrobe, I'd be willing to bet there's a t-shirt proudly bearing the silhouette of Che Guevara, if I could say it right. He was revolutionary. Yeah, he wore a cool hat, but behind the design, I think you might find it's not quite as simple as that. Yeah, a lot of people sort of, I don't know, fell for the imagery, and also I think just sort of joining in with a group and not really knowing anything about Che Guevara or anything else, Cuba. Yeah, I think that happens a lot, not just with him, but with other groups too. People just want to belong to a group. They don't even know anything about it. He was, yeah, I read that. Che was a bit of a homophobe, I think, apparently, so he's staying on the fence there. I don't know, I have no idea. This is actually, a lot of people were back then, so I wouldn't be shocked. This is my song in defense of the fence, a little sing-along, an anthem to ambivalence. The more you know, the harder you will find it to make up your mind. It doesn't really matter if you find you can't see which grass is greener, right? Chances are it's neither, and either way, it's easier to see the difference when you're sitting on the fence. So yeah, and sitting on the fence, you can kind of look both directions and see. Um, I don't know. Sometimes it's greener there. Sometimes it's greener where you are. Somewhere in your house, I'd be willing to bet there's a picture of that grinning hippie from Tibet, the Dalai Lama. No, I don't have that. He's a lovely, funny fella. He gives sound bites galore, but let's not forget that back in Tibet, those funky monks used to dick the poor. Yeah. Um, I'm not sure. Just um, Yeah, well, I'll keep going because I think it did say something more. And the Buddhist line about future lives is the perfect way to stop the powerless rising up. And he tells the poor they will live again, but he's rich now, so it's easy for him to say, yeah, it's not the only religion that says that, right? As long as you're looking forward to something else, either reincarnation or heaven or something, you're going to get a whole bunch of virgin. I don't know. Um, yeah, you're not paying attention to what's going on here. So yeah, so he can live his rich life by telling the poor, know your place. So Christianity does used to do that a lot anyway, I don't know. But yeah, you're supposed to know your place. You're supposed to know where you are and don't overstep, right? And you'll be rewarded in the next life. Great. I'm taking the stand in defense of the fence. I got a little band playing anthems to ambivalence. We divide the world into terrorists and heroes, into normal folk and weirdos, into good people and pedos, into things that give you cancer and things that cure cancer, and things that don't cause cancer, but there's a chance they will cause cancer in the future. True enough. And other health issues as well. Sometimes you don't know what to eat because they say, don't eat this, do eat that, don't eat that, don't, and then that changes every day. Seems like, not quite every day probably, but yeah. We divide the world to stop us feeling frightened into wrong and into right, and into black and into white, and into real men and fairies, into status quo and scary. Yes, depending on which group you belong in, the other group is wrong, right? Um, yeah, we want the world binary, but it's not that simple. Of course, a lot of things going on right now. Um, People just cannot accept that there are differences that really have no effect on them at all. So I don't know what your issue is, but anyway. And your dog has a bigger carbon footprint than a four-wheel drive. I heard that, but I can't quite understand where he's going there. Um, and so does your baby. Maybe you ought to trade him in for a Prius. It's funny, but uh, rock. Wonder why that's right there. I'm taking the stand in defense of the fence. Okay, we divide the world into liberals and gun freaks, into atheists and fundies, into teetotalers and junkies, into chemical and natural, into fictional and factual, into science and supernatural. But it's actually naturally not that white and black. Yeah, it's a lot more complicated. You'll be dividing us into terrorists and heroes, into normal folk and weirdos, into good people and pedos, into things that give you cancer and things that cure cancer. I'm going down because I already read this. Into real men and fairies, into parrots and canaries. I didn't see that one. Yeah, we want the world binary, binary, 001101. The more you know, the harder you will find it to make up your mind. It doesn't really matter if you find you can't see which grass is greener. Chances are it's neither. And either way, it's easier to see the difference when you're sitting on the fence because it's not that simple. Maybe. I like that he's still sitting on the fence. Maybe. Excellent. Really super lyrics, thoughtful, doing it in a bit of a humorous way, but also some serious thoughts here, some very serious issues still in the world where we just want to keep doing this binary thing, or at least putting everybody in boxes and tying it up with a bow and keeping it all nice and safe. Keep those weirdos over there, or the weirdos are saying keep those weirdos over there. Right? So yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Tim is exceptional as always. Great voice too. I usually mention that, but I think I forgot this time. This was a bit more sort of speedy, getting all the lyrics out, getting the thoughts out. But yeah, he can really sing too. So he's got a great voice to whatever he's doing. Let me know what you think. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I think it's fantastic. Check in the description for my link to my playlist for Tim Minchin if you want to check out all the reactions I've done in one place. Also, there will be a link to Tim's channel. Try not to choke here. So you can go in and subscribe and like and support the artist. We really want to do that. Let me know what else you'd like me to react to. I'll put it on the regular list, but it is very long, so it'll be a long wait. Check in the description. There's an easy way to bump up your request. And don't forget to subscribe here. If you have already, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Try to break out of the box once in a while, or do it Tim's saying here and sort of sit on the fence and try to look at all sides. There's not only two sides usually either. There's more. It's even more complex. uh, but it's interesting. It's interesting as long as you don't get scared. It's interesting. All right. It is Ron from RJJ's Reactions. Keep listening. Keep having fun. Bye bye for now.